Dawn spilled over the clearing like a timid veil of light, painting the sky in shades of gray and gold, as if reluctant to wake the world. Cale opened his eyes slowly, his chest tight with the ache of a longing that still echoed from the farewell. The clearing, once filled with laughter and warmth, now held a profound silence, broken only by the whisper of wind dancing through the treetops. Even the birds seemed quiet, as if sensing the storm that was yet to come. He rose from the rustic bed, his bare feet meeting the damp coolness of the tent floor, and his hands instinctively reached for the staff. The polished wood seemed to pulse beneath his fingers, warm and alive, as if it carried a life of its own. As he stepped outside, the crisp morning air wrapped around him, carrying the sweet scent of damp earth and the faint perfume of wildflowers scattered across the clearing. Mist hovered low, like a diaphanous veil caressing the grass, and the first rays of sunlight made the dew glisten like tiny jewels strewn over the land. Sithra was already waiting for him, serene as a living statue, seated upon a moss-covered log of emerald green. Her harp rested at her side, crafted from golden wood, with carved roses symbolizing era running along both arms, its strings gleaming like silver threads in the gentle light. At her feet, Erebus lay resting, the black dog's deep eyes half closed, his glossy fur reflecting the dawn like a mirror of onyx. The elder held a rustic clay jug filled with ripe fruits, plump blackberries and golden figs, and ate with a calm almost ceremonial, her green eyes aglow with the wisdom of one who had witnessed countless cycles of nature. Nearby, a mug of fresh milk released soft wisps of steam, a silent invitation for Cale.
"Good morning, Cale,"
said Sithra, her voice soft as a stream flowing over smooth stones, carrying a melody that seemed to awaken the soul of the forest. She extended the jug with a gentle smile.
"Ready to begin?"
Cale nodded, his steps firm as they echoed on the soft earth while he approached her.
"Yes, master. What are we doing today?"
She adjusted herself on the log, laughing at the boy's formal tone, her movement fluid like a branch bowing to the wind, and her eyes lit with a subtle flame, as if the entire clearing were holding its breath in anticipation.
"You don't need to call me Master, Cale. Call me whatever you like. Today, we're going to listen to the staff. But more than that, we're going to listen to you."
Cale took a few berries from the jug, the sweet juice of the blackberries staining his fingers, and drank the milk in one quick gulp, the creamy warmth sliding down his throat and kindling his body. But his mind was far from breakfast. Curiosity burned in his chest, a flame eager for answers. Sithra rose with grace and led him behind the cabin, where a circle of ancient stones rested, silent and imposing. The rocks, their surfaces worn by time and carved with deep grooves, seemed to whisper stories from forgotten ages. She stopped before them, her wrinkled fingers grazing the engravings with delicate reverence, as if touching the memories of a sleeping world.
"This is a sacred place, Cale. Here, the veil between worlds is as thin as a spider's thread, and the staff may reveal what it holds within its core. But first, there is something you need to know,"
she said, her voice dropping to an almost inaudible tone, heavy with reverence. She turned to him, her gaze sharp as a thread of moonlight, and Cale felt a chill run up his spine. The staff in his hands began to hum, as if answering her call, the runes etched into the wood sparking with a subtle glow.
"You, Cale, are not just a herald. Your destiny is woven into Auren's very fabric in ways few can understand. And to grasp that, you must know the truth about your parents and about that night in Vent."
Cale's heart raced, the memories of that night roaring through his mind like distant thunder.
"What do you know about it?"
he asked, his voice trembling, heavy with an emotion he couldn't quite name. Sithra smiled, an enigmatic smile that hinted at secrets and revelations, like the shimmer of a guiding star in an endless night.
"More than you can imagine, my dear. First, let us awaken the staff. Then the answers will come one by one, like lights flickering into life in the darkness. A map only you will know how to read. Stand here, at the center of the circle."
Cale obeyed, stepping into the circle and planting the staff into the ground like an anchor. His hands closed around the wood, feeling the warmth pulsing through it, as if the object breathed in rhythm with him. Cythera raised her harp, her fingers dancing across the strings with the softness of petals caught in the wind, and an ethereal melody rose to the sky. The sound felt alive, weaving into the air itself, making the leaves tremble in harmony and the birds sing the notes in reverence, as if the music had been etched into their fragile bones. Even Erebus lifted his head, eyes locked on Cythera as if he, too, understood the magic flowing from her. She closed her eyes as if searching through memory, and her lips parted to sing an ancient verse, a poem that seemed woven at the dawn of the world, a forgotten lyric preserved only for that moment. The music enveloped Kale like a wave, and the staff began to glow as it never had before, the runes pulsing with a golden light that resembled veins of fire. Heat surged through his hands, nearly burning, while sensations coursed through his body like lightning slithering across his skin, chills rising and falling along his legs, and his feet felt like roots anchored deep in the earth, connecting him to the living heartbeat of Auren. He heard a rumble that seemed to echo across the entire world, from the highest clouds to the deepest veins of stone. On the final verse, his head felt like it was bursting with sharp pops, one after another. He never felt the fall, only the earth embracing his body with the weight of revelation. When Kale opened his eyes, the world had vanished. There was no clearing, no sky, only a white, endless void, and a silence as deep as the heart of a seashell. He hesitated, testing his footing on that nothingness, until a soft voice, familiar as a forgotten dream, whispered behind him,
"My boy."
He turned, and the tears came instantly, hot and unstoppable. There she was, his mother, young, just as in Auren's story, wrapped in a light so pure it seemed woven from falling stars. Her presence was a beacon of peace, her serene face glowing with a smile that warmed the soul. Kale ran to her, arms wide, and hugged her with all the strength he had, as if he could hold on forever. Her warmth surrounded him, and her voice felt like a second embrace, soothing, sheltering. For a moment, the weight of the world melted into a feeling of absolute wholeness. He didn't know if it was a dream, a memory, or if he was dead. But in that place, none of it mattered.
"I'm here with you, my love. I'm sorry I left you alone, without the answers you needed. But I'm here now,"
she said, her voice a balm soothing every wound in his heart. Kale wept, his face buried in her shoulder, his sobs shaking his body like waves crashing against stone.
Mother, I was so scared. I wanted to go back and help you, but I couldn't. I was weak, and Father...
"It's all right, my love. We knew the risks we were taking. But do you remember what I told you back home? You're the only thing that matters. We got you out. Everything will be all right. And I will always be with you."
As she spoke, the void began to spin, a whirl of light and shadow that seemed to swallow time itself. Kale felt the familiar warmth of the staff returning to his fingers, as if a long-slumbering flame had awakened in his palm. He fought not to let go, arms clinging to his mother with a desperate tightness that squeezed his chest, but reality tore him away, relentless as the pull of a receding wave. His consciousness snapped back to the clearing, his body slumped and heavy against the damp grass, the morning air slicing into his lungs with a sharp, cold breath. Cythera was beside him, seated cross-legged, defying the weight of her years. Her lips moved in a soft chant, nearly inaudible, as if she were weaving the very air with invisible threads, guiding him back from the veil with the precision of a master craftswoman.
What did you do?
Kale burst out, his voice wavering between pain and fury, as if some part of him still lingered in that embrace. Tears still clung to his cheeks, hot against the morning-chilled skin.
I was with her. Why did you bring me back?
The elder opened her eyes, serene, like a wise owl perched upon its branch, her gaze steady, absorbing the storm of emotions spilling from the boy like water breaking through a dam.
We did what we needed to do, Kale. Do not worry. Sit with me now, and we'll move on to the next part.
she replied, her voice calm as leaves whispering in the wind. Cale wiped the tears from his face with the back of his hand, his father's teachings echoing in his mind.
Master your anger, boy, or we'll master you.
The sharpness of the gesture betrayed the frustration that still gripped his chest. Despite his reluctance, he obeyed. Sithra guided him with a gentle nod, and he sat beside her, the staff resting across his lap like a silent companion, still warm to the touch.
Close your eyes, Cale. Focus on your mother, and just listen,
instructed the elder, her voice soft as a summer breeze. Cale drew a deep breath, trying to tame the storm that roared within him. Everything he had faced in the past week seemed to harden his young soul, like bark thickening around a wounded trunk, toughened to hold the tree upright. He obeyed, and gradually he became aware of a low hum filling the air, a gentle static that vibrated through his bones. Then he heard it. His mother's voice, clear and pure as it had been in the vision, cutting through the void and echoing through the wood of the staff, which pulsed in his hands like a racing heart.
I'm always with you, my beloved son.
Cale's eyes flew open, his heart racing, and he met Sithra's tender smile. There was a blend of pride and understanding in her gaze, as if she saw beyond what words could ever express.
She is with you, Cale. She always has been. Since the attack on Venth, she has followed you, protecting your path. It was she who channeled the Lume through you all on the hills, driving the soldiers away and shaping wonders you could never have imagined, even at great risk, because you weren't ready yet. It was her, rising from the lake that morning when you left with Auren, her spirit weaving into your staff through the mist. Now that you know, you can speak with her whenever you wish, simply by repeating the exercise I just taught you. One day I will be there too. We will always be at your side. Because you, Cale, you are the key to the world. It is you who will open the veil.
Tears streamed down his face once more, but now they were different, not born of rage or longing, but carrying the taste of relief and gratitude. It was too much to take in, a weight far too heavy for such young shoulders to bear, yet he held it not because he was strong, but because there was no other choice. And yet, deep in his soul he knew he would never be alone again.